So, for the past 43 years I've lived in England, but for some bizarre reason I've never come across the Irish Sea all the way to Dublin until today. So here I am, you probably guessed from the title of this video, I'm in Dublin. It's my bucket list, it's my midlife crisis, and well, come along for the ride.
I've just landed in Dublin, a city where history, culture and a pint of Guinness are never far away. I've got one weekend here to dive into its cosy pubs, cobbled streets, historic landmarks and a little touch of Irish charm. From riverside strolls to a bit of Irish history, join me for a weekend of music, mischief and maybe a little Irish jig here in the heart of Ireland. Welcome to Dublin.
Oh, it's very exciting. This is a great city. I've only been here a bit, but I'm really enjoying it because I'm having fun. Never been here before, but also I've got my group here. Look who it is. It's Emily, my wife. Hi. We're celebrating 20 years together this week, so we thought we'd jump over here to Dublin to have a look around, and we've got loads of places to go.
Yeah. First stop had to be the Temple Bar area of the city. It's famous for its lively bars, cobbled streets, and of course its non-stop music. So, whether you're here for a pint of Guinness, live music, or just a people watch, there's something for everyone round every corner. Okay, it's touristy, but I guess that's part of the charm. And they say you haven't truly been to Dublin unless you've strolled through the Temple Bar. We made sure we stopped by the Irish Rock and Roll Museum, but unfortunately it was sold out for the time we wanted to go in. So, being the romantic guy that I am, and with it being our 20th anniversary, I took my wife up Love Lane, if you'll pardon the expression.
This is it. This is the real reason I've come all the way to Dublin. It has to be done because in a minute, I'm going in there. Oh, that was fun, Leprechaun Museum. I didn't want to film in there, obviously, because I don't want to spoil the magic, but yeah, really, it was like storytelling. We had a storyteller called Darwin, or I don't know, Darwin, I think. Derville, who was brilliant. Oh, hey up, look at these guys here. But yeah, we're brilliant. So next stop, I fancy some Guinness. You? Let's get some Guinness.
Well, when in Dublin, you've got to do it. It's basically a rite of passage. So we're headed over to the Guinness Storehouse. Wow, what an experience that was. This is where you learn about how the magical black pint is made before, of course, you get to drink one. The whole place is an Instagrammer's dream. There's so many great places to have your photo taken and to make little videos like this. It's like a Willy Wonka's factory, but instead of sweets, it's for booze. You start by learning how Guinness is brewed with water, barley, hops, yeast, and the secret fifth ingredient, pure Irish charm. The museum spread over 7 floors for history, advertising, barrels, beer sniffing, and then of course the main event, pouring your own perfect pint. Now, I've got to be honest, it's not as easy as it looks. This is why I didn't film this. You've got to get a specific tilt and hold situation going on, and mine came out, let's just say, artfully foamy, okay?
And last but not least, finish the day here with a nice pint of Guinness, all for me. I hate Guinness, Diet Coke.
So after the Guinness, it was time to stop by Molly Malone's statue, Dublin's most iconic fishmonger. Legend says she sold cockles and mussels by day, and maybe a little bit more by night.
So, Molly Malone, your rubber boobs for good luck. And it's 2025 and I feel a bit predatory doing that.
Now, I didn't know this, but apparently during his lifetime, Oscar Wilde lived in this very house in the centre of Dublin. And if you look just over the road, you can see a statue dedicated to the great writer himself. Although it did leave me wondering, why is he holding a piece of broccoli?
What are you doing on an evening in Dublin? Well, you go out drinking really, but funnily enough, I don't like alcohol. So, I decided to come here instead.
Riverdance.
Okay, that was absolutely awesome. I'm feeling the need to join the cast of Riverdance now. I think I've nailed the choreography, Emily.
Oh, yeah?
Well, the top half anyway. From the waist up, I'd be brilliant in Riverdance. I think we should find a proper Irish bar now
Yes.
and have a wee sing-sang. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
So, after a couple of drinks, we began to realise that when the sun sets over the city, that's when Dublin really wakes up. The pubs buzz, the music flows, and the laughter just rings through the town. This city doesn't sleep, it sings. But it was getting a little too much now for this old fart. So time to get to bed before another Dublin-packed day in the morning. As the morning breaks in old Dublin town, we start the day here at Trinity College. Steeped in centuries of history, it's home to the famous Book of Kells, which is a masterpiece of medieval art tucked away in the hushed halls of the Long Room Library.
So we're at Trinity College now, and I've just booked us on the Trinity College Trail, where we get to see the Book of Kells experience. Genuinely, have no idea what that is, but I'm sure I'll find out very soon.
Now, if you're a fan of books, Harry Potter vibes, or maybe just the smell of old paper, this is the Trinity College's crown jewel, the Long Room Library. And tucked away in here, an original copy of the 1916 Proclamation of the Irish Republic, the document that kicked off Ireland's fight for independence.
So they're renovating it then. So there's quite a lot of books missing. They've got the globe there, that's pretty cool. They said there's usually 200,000 books in here, but unfortunately there's only 17,000 at here. Might ask for my money back. So we've done that little tour around Trinity College. Been to see the Book of Kells. Still not 100% sure what it is. I've got my glasses on, so I must have been reading something. We're going to the Book of Kells experience now, which is like a digital sort of display of it. So I might find out a little bit more. And here that is.
We must discover how this is happening, or why at least.
I believe that we are indeed haunting the statues.
Yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed that. And I know what the Book of Kells is now. It's a 9th century manuscript of 4 of the Gospels that the Vikings tried to steal. Cool. I think we ought to get some lunch now. A little bit peckish.
And on the way to lunch, we had to cross over another Dublin landmark, the Halfpenny Bridge. Built in 1816, it was the first pedestrian bridge to span the River Liffey. And for over a century, it came at a price, half a penny, which gave it its name. Today it's free to cross, and it's become one of the most photographed spots in the city. A symbol of Dublin, simple, timeless, and full of charm.
Look, we're on the Halfpenny Bridge. How exciting.
Once we crossed the river, we found 2 new and exciting additions to the city. First of all, we stumbled upon the Dublin Portal, And no, not the sci-fi kind. This high-tech circle is a real-life video window connecting Dublin to other cities across the world. So there we were, waving at strangers in Poland. And they were waving right back. It's weird, wonderful, and somehow both futuristic and very Irish. We then looked up, and towering into the sky like a giant silver needle, we found the Spire. Officially called the Monument of Light, it's 120 metres tall. Locals have all kinds of nicknames for it. The stiletto in the ghetto, the pin in the bin, but love it or laugh at it, you can't miss it. It's shiny, it's pointy, and it's perfect when you're lost in the city and just need to say, meet me at the big shiny thing.
I love how the Pelican crossings sound like Buzz Lightyear. Pew, pew. Now, obviously, I know we're in a different country to England or the United Kingdom, but it's stuff like this that freaks me out a little bit. Seeing a postbox, obviously, like we've got at home, but obviously the red in the UK, whereas here the green. It's stuff like that. Like I've just seen a Poundland called Deals, and Primark's called Pennies. It's very, very, very strange, but fun. Ooh, I like this. This is the Famine Memorial here on the side of the river. Pays tribute to everyone who died in the potato famine back in the 1800s here in Ireland, and it's quite haunting. Look at the faces on the statues. Yeah. Didn't like that so much. Not on an artistic point of view, it's a bit real, isn't it? Anyway, over the road there's the Epic Museum, but unfortunately that's the Immigration Museum. It tells you all about the people who've emigrated in and out of the country. And I'd really like to see that, but unfortunately I'm running out of time here. I need to get something to eat and then head to the airport. But maybe next time. Where are we going now, Emily? Emily's here. Where are we going? We're going to go over that bridge. Let's go.
And over that bridge, we came to the final stop on our Dublin adventure, Dublin Castle. Once the seat of British rule in Ireland, it's now a mix of grand halls, secret passages, and a courtyard where centuries of Irish history echo off the stone. Today it hosts everything from state visits to art exhibitions, and while it may not be the biggest castle you'll ever see, it's one of the most important. A place where Ireland's past meets its present.
Hey, look at that castle. This is the Dublin Castle. It's the best castle I've seen all day. Definitely my all-time favourite castle of the day. It's the only one, actually.
So, as our time in Dublin draws to an end, I guess it's fair to say that I'll definitely be back. The people, the stories, the music in the streets, what a city. Full of heart, full of history, and full of Irish charm.
Well, looking like it's time to get to the airport now, but we've had a brilliant time here in Dublin. I'd definitely come again. Gutted we didn't go to the Epic Museum. I'd have really enjoyed that. But it's been amazing. We've seen Riverdance in Dublin. What more could you wish for? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, tell all your friends if you've enjoyed it, and if you haven't, just, keep your gob shut. But anyway, from me, Neil Hurst, in Dublin, I'll see you later.